Welcome to The Explainer. I'm so glad you're here because today we're talking about something literally every professional needs, but honestly, so many of us overlook it. We're talking about developing your digital real estate. Think about a domain name. It's not just some random web address you slap on the back of a business card. It is your prime plot of digital land. It's the absolute bedrock of your online presence. So today, we're going to learn exactly how to claim the best possible spot for yourself. Here's a quick look at the roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to start with your digital calling card. Then we'll map out the perfect domain blueprint. After that, we'll find some inspiration for your brand, talk about exactly how to secure that digital property, and finally, we'll look beyond the domain name to see what comes next. All right, let's jump in.
Your digital calling card.
Okay, let's just get right into this. A domain name isn't just checking a box for IT. It is the absolute core of your digital identity. It impacts your brand recognition, your SEO, your credibility, and yeah, your daily web traffic. Picture this. You're a buyer, and you're searching online for properties in Colorado. You see two links. One is stevesmith.com, and the other is denverhomes.com. Honestly, which one are you clicking first? Steve might be the best agent in the state, but denverhomes.com tells you immediately what they do and exactly where they do it. It hits the exact keywords the user's already thinking about. And you know, getting that keyword match right is a huge deal. Websites with shorter, keyword-rich domains actually see a massive 20% boost in click-through rates. To put that into perspective, in the hyper-competitive world of online search, getting a 20% head start right out of the gate, that's like moving your storefront from a dark alleyway straight to the middle of Main Street. It's a total game changer. But hey, it's not just about getting that initial click, right? It's about building trust. Over 80% of consumers say they trust a professional domain way more than some generic one, the ones with free website tacked on to the end. This is basically your digital curb appeal. Long before a client ever clicks through to see your beautifully designed homepage, your domain has already told them if you're a credible, established pro.
Section 2, the perfect domain blueprint.
All right, so we know why it matters. Now, what are the actual rules for picking that perfect plot of land? Well, here are 5 essential tips. First, keep it short. We're talking 6 to 14 characters. Short domains mean fewer typos and way better SEO. Second, use those keywords, things like homes or your city's name. Third, make sure it's memorable. It needs to be catchy but still professional. Fourth, always check availability. Make sure you aren't stepping on a trademark or overlapping with someone else's brand. And fifth, think long-term here. Pick a name that your business can actually grow into over the years.
Now, when you're checking to see if the name is available, you really have to pay attention to the extension you're using. Listen, the .com extension is still the absolute king. It's the most recognized, the most trusted globally, and search engines like Google and Bing absolutely love it. It's what the Fortune 500s use, and it's a great way to stay out of people's spam folders. Basically, grabbing that .com is exactly like buying a house in the most trusted, affluent zip code in town. It just instantly elevates your status.
Section 3. Inspiration for your brand. Okay, I know staring at a blank search bar hoping for a moment of sheer genius can be a little intimidating. So let's look at 3 proven formulas that blend local geography with specific niches. First up, we've got city plus luxury, so something like denverluxuryhomes.com. Strong, crystal clear. Then you've got condo niches, think oceanviewcondos.com. Highly descriptive, super targeted. And finally, agent plus location, like dallasrealestateagent.com. Using these structures really takes the guesswork out of the whole process, and it aligns your brand perfectly with what buyers are actually typing into the search bar.
Section 4, securing your digital property.
So you've brainstormed the perfect name. Amazing. Now let's talk tactics. How do you actually buy the thing? You'll want to compare pricing across registrars, places like GoDaddy, Namecheap, or DreamHost. Actually, a cool little perk with DreamHost is that they offer free private registration, which is super helpful for keeping your personal info off public databases. But here's the real insider tip. Whenever you can, pay for 5 years up front. Why? Because locking it in for 5 years tells search engines that you are an established, serious player. It literally gives you an SEO advantage before you've even published a single web page.
And if you're sitting there doubting whether these domain names actually hold real monetary value, check this out. The domain balboaislandhouses.com was once put up for sale for $3,500. Now, keep in mind, the average home price in that exact neighborhood is $5.4 million. And when that site was active, it ranked #1 on Bing.
Prime digital real estate holds incredibly tangible value. Securing a highly targeted domain in an affluent market, that is a serious financial asset.
But wait, building your digital property actually goes a little bit beyond just buying that one perfect name. Let me ask you this. Why on earth would you deliberately spend your hard-earned money to buy misspelled versions of your own domain name? I know, it sounds completely backward, doesn't it? Well, it actually comes down to playing fantastic defense. Buying common typos of your domain catches all that lost traffic from people just typing way too fast on their phones. Plus, it actively protects your brand from competitors who might try to squat on those misspellings to steal your leads. It makes the user experience seamless because they get redirected to your real site anyway, and honestly, it's just incredibly cost-effective marketing. Every single keystroke matters, and this guarantees you aren't losing a massive client just because their thumb slipped.
Section 5. Beyond the domain name.
All right, so you've officially purchased the land. Now the real construction begins, right? You've got the lot, now you have to build the house. Your next steps are all about website design, making sure the site is responsive on mobile and super easy to navigate. Then comes content strategy. Building out detailed neighborhood pages, writing blog posts about local market trends. You'll also need to heavily focus on local SEO, building up citations and keywords. And lastly, the technical stuff. Setting up fast, reliable hosting, and getting that critical SSL certificate to keep your client's data locked down tight.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. You have the perfect address. You know exactly why a short, keyword-rich, securely registered .com domain is so powerful. So, what are you going to build on it? It is time to stop relying entirely on old-school physical networking and start actively cultivating your digital plot of land. Thanks so much for hanging out with me to explore this today. I highly encourage you to take this blueprint and go secure your digital calling card right now.